my name is Kat, and today I want to recommend some books you should read in one sitting. So this video has been kindly sponsored by Epic Reads to celebrate Broken Things by Lauren Oliver, which is out today, October 2nd. It's your birthday! Happy birthday! This book follows two girls, Bryn and Mia, who killed their best friend. The three girls were obsessed with this popular book and their fan fiction sequel that they were working on. But something happened, and Bryn and Mia ended up killing their best friend in the same ritualistic way as described in their fan fiction. So even though there's not enough evidence to actually prosecute them, once the news of this gets out, everyone knows they did it. The whole world knows they did it. Only thing is, they didn't actually do it. Everyone blames them, everyone thinks it was them, but it wasn't them. And then on the anniversary of their friend's murder, some new evidence is found that resurrects the mystery, and it's time to get to the bottom of what actually happened. So yeah, this just sounds like a twisty, edge-of-your-seat, thrilling kind of read. I adore Lauren Oliver's writing style, and the premise of this with the murder mystery and the false accusations and the themes surrounding fandom and obsession, it just sounds like something I'm really going to enjoy, and I cannot wait to get to it. Now, I love reading books in a single sitting. It is my favorite way to read a book. And I do this a lot with books that aren't really meant to be read in a single sitting, like Tower of Dawn, which is a 700-page monster. So this video today is not just books I read in one sitting, because I read a lot of books in one sitting that I wouldn't recommend other people try to read in one sitting. This video is about books that I think are best read in a day, and that are actually reasonable to read in a day. So let's get into it. So first up, I have here They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book takes place in a world that is just like ours, except on the day you die, you get a phone call warning you it's your last day. We follow two boys who each received their phone call that this is their last day, and they end up meeting and spending their last day together. I adored this book. I read it earlier this year, and it is probably my favorite book of the year so far. I can't think of anything that would top it. Definitely one of my favorites of the year, and my favorite Adam Silvera book, and I've loved all of his. It's fun, but also sad, and there are moments that are really happy and moments that are heartbreaking. It's just a fantastic book, and it takes place over just 24 hours, so it is the perfect book to read in a single sitting. Next book I want to recommend you read in a single sitting is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Where do I even begin describing this book? This book is a ride. Basically, we're following this teenage girl who used to spend every single summer on her family's private island. But the summer she was 15, something happened. There was an accident, and it really messed her up and messed up her memory. And she hasn't been back to the island in 2 years. Now she is 17, and she is returning to the island for the first time since her accident. And just being there again and seeing her friends again, it just sets her off on this journey of piecing together what happened the summer she turned 15. This book is so gripping and twisty and mysterious. I read this book 4 years ago, and I still think about it all the time. It is definitely one of those sticky books that sticks in your head. And it is also just a fantastic book to read in one sitting. It's pretty short, you just immerse yourself in this world and this mystery, and it's a ride. The next book that I have here is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Gotta throw in some cute books to balance out the twisty, thrilling books. This is about a teenage boy named Simon who knows he's gay, but he's not out yet. He's developed this email relationship with another closeted kid at his school, but he doesn't know who's on the other end. He only knows them by the name Blue. And then Simon leaves his computer open, and someone discovers the emails and blackmails him. But not in a super dark and twisted way. It's a cute and fluffy blackmail book. I've read this book twice, both times in a single sitting. Simon's voice is so great. Like, this book is just so compulsively readable. And then the questions of who is Blue and what is gonna come of this blackmail thing. Those mysteries also help to just propel you through the book. I've actually read each of Becky Albertalli's books in a single sitting because she just writes books that are easy to devour in a couple hours. But Simon is my fave of Becky's books, so this is the one that I would first recommend if you haven't tried her out yet. The next book I recommend you read in a single sitting is Little Monsters by Cara Thomas. This is definitely one of the darker, twistier books that I'm talking about today. Basically, we are following a teenage girl named Casey who is kind of the new girl in this small town. She does have a small group of friends, but they start acting weird and kind of cutting her out. They go to this party that she wasn't invited to, but then one of her friends doesn't come back from this party. She's gone missing. And people start looking at Casey, start looking at the new girl as a suspect. And Casey finds herself drawn into this mystery of what happened to her friend. And also, was that girl even actually her friend? This is another one of those books that is just a total trip. The mystery is so twisted and goes in so many interesting directions. If you like twisty mysteries, Little Monsters, you should read this in a single sitting. The next book that I have here is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Now, this is not a twisty, edge of your seat kind of book, but it is a beautiful book. It takes place over 24 hours. It's about a girl named Natasha who is all about science and facts. She's about to be deported with her family, so she's trying to figure out a way to stay, and she meets this boy in New York City. And he is a dreamer and a romantic, and they end up hitting it off, but she's about to leave the country. They really only have a day together. It's a book about fate and family and love and connections, and it's beautifully written. I love it. I highly recommend it. And finally, I have here The Call by Pater O'Gillen. This book is such an intense, fast-paced, anxiety-inducing, nightmare fuel kind of book, and I loved it. This book takes place in an Ireland that has been cut off from the rest of the world for the last 25 years. And over the last 25 years, every adolescent in Ireland has to go through the call. And when the call happens to you, basically you just disappear from the human world for 3 minutes, but you are actually going to the world of these dark, fey creatures. And you're there for 24 hours while these creatures hunt you. And only about 1 in 10 people survive this. So all children in Ireland spend their childhood and their adolescence just physically training to be able to survive the call. This was such a gripping and horrifying book. Like, this book actually had me on the edge of my seat. Like, my heart was racing while I was reading this. It was that intense. If you're looking for a different, dark, thrill ride of a book, I recommend The Call. All right, that is it. That is gonna do it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will have another video up soon. So I will see you then. Bye!